Marcus T. Delcourt spent 14 months listening to a dead man pause, and when he finally understood what filled those pauses, he requested that all 63 recordings be moved to a locked room he would no longer enter alone. He was a county historian, not a paranormal investigator, and he wants that distinction preserved. His office sat on the second floor of the Hulworth County Records Annex on Pell Street, the kind of building where the heating ticked all winter, and the carpet held the smell of old toner and instant coffee. His Tuesdays were the same for 19 years. Drive in at 8, sort intake, eat a sandwich at his desk while the radiator complained. The Brennan crate arrived in late autumn after the thermal image of the abandoned property had circulated online, and a distant relative donated the cassettes to the archive rather than keep them in a house where, she said, the family no longer slept well. The first crack was a small one. Delort was cataloguing recording number 31, a routine entry in which Harold Brennan describes the figure at the tree line and confirms the temperature reading of 51 degrees, when Harold stopped speaking mid-observation. The gap lasted long enough that Delort assumed the tape was damaged. He noted it on the intake form and moved on. Then he found another gap on tape 9, another on tape 44. Each silence sat in the middle of a sentence, not at the natural end. He timed them with a stopwatch app on his phone, the way a man checks something he expects to disprove. Every pause measured 11 seconds, not 10, not 12. 11 across recordings Harold made years apart on different machines in different seasons. The investigation, as Delort logged it in his own notebook, proceeded slowly because he was doing it on personal hours. He isolated each pause and stacked them in editing software borrowed from the county media office. The first thing he noticed was an absence. During every 11-second window, the background of the recording emptied. The crickets that filled Harold's summer tapes cut out cleanly. The wind on the winter tapes stopped. Even the recorder's own electrical hiss shifted to a flatter, deader tone, as though the room had been wrapped in something. Delort's report to the county archivist, dated the 9th of February, notes only that ambient audio anomalies present in all 63 items warrant further review. He did not write what he had begun to suspect because he did not yet believe it. Over the following months, he layered the pauses on top of one another, 63 silences breathing as one. At first, there was nothing. Then a fragment surfaced. A single syllable in Harold's voice, faint and low, where Harold should have been, saying nothing at all. Delort found more, sentences cut into pieces and scattered across decades of recording, each piece occupying one 11-second gap, all of them spoken by the same man and waiting to be reassembled by someone patient enough to try. He reconstructed them in order. The fragments formed one sentence. I finally looked away. The line disturbed him for a reason that took him a week to articulate. Across all 63 tapes, Harold Brennan is meticulous. He describes the figure at the tree line in exhausting detail. He repeats the 51-degree reading like a prayer. He transcribes his conversations with the second voice, the one that appears on 14 of the recordings, and that no investigator has ever identified. Yet Harold never once describes what happened when he stopped looking. He narrates everything except the moment he turns his head. The story has a hole in it, precisely the shape of the thing it refuses to say. While cross-referencing the donation against county property records, Delort found a transfer manifest from the original site recovery. It listed 64 items removed from beneath the shed floor. The crate held 63. The 64th cassette had been logged separately into a sheriff's evidence archive under a case number that had long since closed. And after a polite and persistent request, Delort was permitted to hear it. The recording is 7 seconds long. Harold's voice, calm, almost relieved, says one thing. I blinked. The tape ends there, not stops. Ends the way a sentence ends when there is nothing left to say. Marcus Delort completed his catalogue and submitted it. He did not request a transfer or quit his position, though he stopped working evenings and began leaving the building before dark. When asked about the project by a regional newspaper, he declined to comment beyond confirming the recordings exist and are authentic. The locked room on the second floor holds all 64 tapes now, and the door is checked twice a week against a maintenance log, badge entries recorded by name and minute. There is one detail Delort added to the file in his own handwriting, near the end, after the official summary. During his final review session this past March, he left his recorder running in the empty room overnight by accident. The next morning, the file contained 11 hours of nothing, except for one stretch beginning at 3:41 in the morning, lasting exactly 11 seconds, where the hiss flattened and the room went quiet, and a voice that the lab later confirmed did not belong to Harold Brennan said, very softly, "He's listening now too."